All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live. If you're on the Sherry Brunson Show page right now, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, with that said, as you saw on the notification, we are talking about the singles tonight. It's all about the singles. Amen, sisters? Amen.
Correct.
It's all about
Correct.
us. And that's men and women. So, you could be saved or unsaved. But what we're going to talk about tonight is to help you heal and to cope with anything that you're going through. So if you're here tonight, please share this. Share this. We want you to join the conversation. Let us know you're on the Facebook feed. Let us know. Make your comments. I want y'all to go ahead and share this post on your pages right now. This is what we're doing, the protocol for live at the present moment. I'm your host, Sherry Brunson. So we will be on for 1 hour tonight. So get ready. Get your popcorn ready. If you're sitting on your bed, tell your friends to watch it. So with that said, we're talking about a heart issue. And the heart issue, everybody, is what we call being lonely or being alone. And some of us deal with it better than others. And so this is all about relationship, all about Jesus and faith and callings. So with that said, I need to introduce my guest. So on my right is Miss Princess Brown. Princess, tell us about you and your ministry briefly.
Well, my name is Prophet Princess Brown, and the name of my ministry is Clarity of God's Glory International Ministries.
Okay. Lawanda, go for it.
Well, hello. I am Dr. Lawanda Evans, and I am a licensed professional counselor as well as a relationship expert. I am the owner of LNE Unlimited Counseling and Emotional Wellness, located in Duncanville, Texas.
All right, then. Welcome, ladies. Welcome. So let's get right to it. I want to read the scripture from Genesis 2:18. It's important. It's foundation. The Lord God said, at the very beginning, it is not good for man to be alone. And he said that he would create a helper to make it suitable, a helpmate. That's us, woman. But when I read that scripture, it's just not for man. He's talking about man, period. Because we all feel uncomfortable being alone. I don't care who you are. You can have a spirit, prophetess, of being a loner, but you never really want to be alone. So let's talk about the definition of loneliness first. And I know you got a definition also, doctor. But according to the dictionary, it's called a state of solitude or being alone, being without company. Okay, so we know what that means. You can have family. You can have all these people around you, but you can still be lonely. So give us your definition, Dr. Evans.
Okay, when it comes to loneliness,
yes.
I understand what the dictionary says, but loneliness is also a form of disconnection. Being disconnected from something, someone, even from yourself. So, and there are many factors that contribute to that. So when we talk about loneliness, it's really about a disconnect.
Okay, it's a disconnect.
Sounds good.
So everybody, you hear that at home. It's just not about not having a body next to you.
Right.
Wow.
That is powerful. Right. Very good. That's why you're the doctor. So with that said, we got to talk about, because we are all women of faith, everybody who's watching right now. So
yes,
let's talk about
yes.
callings. And so we all know that we have been called. So when we were unsaved, the Lord called us, most of us, to be alone. And that didn't mean, like he called Abraham to leave his family, come from familiar people, to be separated and consecrated for him.
Correct.
For the purpose of God.
Correct.
So you want to speak to that, prophetess, about, being called alone?
Well, the context of that
yes.
is it's not in the manner that we're feeling right now. The context of that is more like a pulling away so you can draw closer to God. It's more like a pulling away. It's more like a separation.
Yes.
But not in a separation as a loss, but separation so that you can just have that time with God so that you can
Relationship.
come into purpose, so that you can come into understanding, so God can introduce himself to us, because the truth of the matter is we don't know God.
We don't.
Even when we answer the call, even when we come
That's
to Christ,
good.
we don't know him.
That's
why
good.
he says, come learn of me. We don't know him. So when God is, when you know, when we give our life to God and we become a disciple of Jesus Christ, that part of being alone is not in the contents. It's not of feeling like there's nobody around, because he says, lo, I'm with you even to the ends of the, you know, even to the ends of the earth. So it's not the same context.
That's good. That's good. So for those of you who are new saints or baby saints, what we call them, but to know that that is good education and foundation for people who are just giving their life to Christ, because the truth of the matter is you can feel lonely even in the call.
That's right.
You understand?
Yes.
You can feel isolated, and I'm a witness to that. I left Mississippi in 2002
Yes.
and left everything behind, everybody I knew. And even when even the story of Naomi and Ruth, when Naomi lost all her family, that she turned bitter towards God.
Yes.
Then it still, we got to talk about this feeling that comes over us, this depression and feeling of isolation. So let's go to the core, Dr. Evans and Prophetess. Go ahead. You're going to say something.
When, you know, just to add to it, when you said the feeling of it, like
Yeah, it's a
depression.
feeling.
So the next question is it just a natural feeling, or when do we discern when it's something else,
Right.
when it's deeper,
Yes.
when it's a spirit becoming attached to you? You understand
That's
what I'm
fair.
saying?
That's fair.
We need to discern when it's just a natural feeling where you're feeling alone
And it's
you
not
just,
your hormones.
you just want to feel somebody
And it's
connected
not-
to,
yes.
or when it's what I mean is when it becomes to a part that it becomes a weight for you, when it becomes
Yes.
a heaviness for you.
Yes.
So if that makes
Yeah,
more
that makes
sense,
a
you know.
whole lot of sense.
So
Yes.
Oh, y'all waiting on me. Oh, you know, and it really goes back to that disconnect.
Okay.
Because even when you leave home or you move to a different place,
Right.
or when there's a breakup of a relationship, or when you lose a parent or lose a loved one,
Yeah.
that's still a disconnect. And when it comes to loneliness, it has a lot to do with isolation.
Correct.
Because people who
Right.
struggle in that area, and those of us, even with ourselves, whenever we have that feeling of loneliness, we tend to move away from people.
Yeah.
We
Right.
tend to isolate ourselves.
Yes.
We tend to entertain, negative thoughts about ourselves, and negative thoughts about our past, and negative thoughts about those we used to be connected to, and it's just negative thoughts in general, which causes that heaviness, and
Yeah.
it causes you to be drawn away, because now you're disconnected. Because now you're saying to yourself, well, maybe nobody wants me, nobody wants to talk to me, or nobody understands. And then when you begin to believe that about yourself, then that's where that disconnection comes, and then you're more isolated, and it can lead to depression, because being lonely, it can lead to a spirit of despair.
Yes.
Feeling
Yes.
very, worthless and hopeless.
Yes.
And you have to be able to identify when you begin to feel that way.
Right.
We all know when we begin to feel lonely. And I know we're going to get into this a little bit later when I'm going to talk about what you can do when you begin to feel that way. Because there are things that you can do to help you along the way,
Absolutely.
so that you won't get stuck.
Okay.
And that's the
Let's
issue.
cut it
Many
right
people
there.
get
Yes.
stuck.
Yes. Then so with you saying that, I wanted to definitely address the calling piece.
Yes.
So that you understand that even in that, Jesus is the bread of life.
yes.
And even in your call, I just wanted to say that it can happen, that you can go into this
Yes.
spirit of despair. And yes, it could be the feeling you talked about. So I'm not going to rehash what everybody said, but we're going to move on to our next part of this discussion, girls. Yes. And this is a serious topic. We're usually really bubbly, but when you're talking about somebody's life, sitting at home, the
right?
spirit of
Yes. We don't know what people are feeling right now. We don't know what's going on. We don't know who's watching.
We don't
Right.
know who's watching, but we love you. So
Yes.
just know that stay there. Stay there, everybody. So with that said, I'm going to pose a question to these single ladies. And I want to ask you, are you really single and satisfied? Are you content with your life right now?
You want to go first?
Well, I would say, as far as knowing who I am, as far as my purpose, as far as what I'm wanting to do, as far as skill and ability and my relationship with God, yes. As far as that,
intact.
Spiritually and naturally,
Okay.
as far as, you know, my career
There's a
goals,
distinction.
as far as, I would want a little bit more upgrade when it comes to connections and things like that. But as far as where I am spiritually and mentally and where I'm wanting to go, I mean, because I guess because I understand where I'm going.
Right.
So
right.
So to answer the question, yes.
Okay.
Now the only part that's left is the only part that's designed
Yes.
for who that special person is supposed to come in and fulfill. That man.
That man.
Okay, that's the only part of me that's left, and it's
sweet.
supposed to be left, because if it's not left, then what would be the purpose of God sending him?
So, Princess, stop him right there. You know how the Lord gives us, director, I need the camera. When the Lord gives you this desire for a baby, this desire for a husband, do you have this desire? Is it a prayer to have this mate to walk alongside you?
I believe that, if anything, it's natural, and it's ordained, because from the beginning he told us to be fruitful and multiply. From the beginning in the Bible, he said our desires would be to our husband. This is from the
That's the
beginning in
word.
Genesis.
Yes.
So I don't think that it's just a desire by prayer. I just believe that most of anybody that come to the earth is going to feel that way.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's a natural thing.
it's just a natural
the Lord
desire.
It's part of what he's promised.
Unless you're someone who's maybe called to be celibate to him, and maybe you start desiring it,
Well, that's
then
totally
maybe
different.
it can come to a point of prayer.
It-
But
yeah.
you know, for the most part, it's natural. It's
It
should be.
Go ahead, Dr. Lawanda.
What was your question again?
Yeah. So back to your question. That was
Oh, whether
a
or
long
not I
way
was
around.
content.
Yeah, you
That was
got to
the
be
question.
real. Tell it.
Oh,
Tell
okay.
it.
I was like,
Yeah.
what was the question? Because I got so
Into
so
what she
into what you were
said.
saying. I'm like, yeah, girl. But yes, I am totally content with
Okay.
where I am in life.
Okay.
And
Professionally, spiritually, everything
spiritually, naturally, the whole nine
The whole
yards.
nine.
Now, I had to go through some things to get to this point.
Oh, yeah.
But I can definitely say that I am definitely content with where I am.
Praise ye the Lord.
I mean, I'm just
Ain't
at
nothing else to
that.
say.
Yeah, I'm just at that place.
So back to you. Now, Princess, you went through a little phase now. You were telling us about.
Yes.
Where you weren't ready to be on this platform to talk about.
I wasn't
And what
because
happened to get you to that place?
it was more of just accepting
Okay.
and embracing that all that I've been through is for the glory of God. And all that I've been through, somebody else is going through it. Somebody else is feeling how I'm feeling. Like,
Go ahead.
what happens when you give your all to God and you still waiting on something to manifest? What you're waiting on a promise. I know the Bible says in Isaiah, he said that, they that wait upon the Lord, but the reality is it can be a fight.
Oh, my help.
It can be a struggle. And you love the Lord, you anointed, you're doing what he's called you to do. I mean, and like I said before, I'm content when it comes to my walk with Christ, when it comes to my purpose, my destiny, when it comes to going after my goals. But that one part that's designed for
Yes,
him
Lord.
is still left voided.
That-
It has to be, because he's the one to come and fill that. Now he can't fulfill everything. He
Right.
can't fulfill me as a person. That's only left to God.
Yeah, let's
but
clarify.
what he is assigned to fulfill as God's image is still with him until
and
he
it's
comes.
part of the purpose of our lives.
Yes.
Because as a prophet told me, that he's shaping this person that we will blend together for ministry, for purpose.
Yes.
It's divine, God and then us.
Yes.
Because the desire that we have, it came from God.
Yes.
I'm not trying to go out stalking men.
Right.
Please don't.
Yeah, thank you, Lawanda.
Please
I'm
don't.
not trying to stalk the men. I'm really, God, yeah,
There's
yeah.
another word for that, but
yeah.
please don't.
are literally waiting. But back to you, Princess. This is
the
good.
truth of the matter is, we don't stalk, but we do make ourselves available. We do show, like the Bible says, you have to show yourself friendly if you're going to even make a friend.
Be friendly, girl.
So I mean,
that's good, Dr.
So
Evans.
I mean, you have to show a openness, or should I say, like I heard a woman say, the veil being removed from you, where you're no longer hidden for the eyes to the man that's for you.
And God is hiding us.
Yes,
He's
for that
protecting
person,
us.
for that person that's really designed for you. But like I said before, it was a battle for me. For years, my mentor, anybody will tell you, for years, I was like, I don't want to talk about nothing. I even hated single conferences.
Oh, wow.
If you mentioned single conferences, I just got,
because
I'm like, I'm just tired of being single.
Yes.
I'm just so tired of it. But when it came to the point where God was like, listen, I told you that when you overcome, strengthen your brother. I told you that I have given you grace, and it's not just for you. It's so you can help other people. Other people are feeling exactly the way you're feeling. And he said, you can't be selfish like that.
And I was going to use that word because that was the selfishness that we have as singles, y'all, because you could be single this 10, 15, 20 years and you get selfish in this. I don't want to talk about no singleness. And then you hear the preacher. Wait on the Lord.
It just makes it worse.
It makes it worse. I understand that. Have you been there, Dr. Lawanda?
I've been there.
Okay.
It's just everybody's journey is different.
Yeah.
Now, had you caught me maybe 5 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, I would be like, girl, don't talk to me about being single.
Right.
I don't want to talk to nobody.
Right.
I'm good. I'm straight. Everything is all. I'm okay. But now I'm at a different place. I'm at a different season in my life.
Yes.
Now, you should have called me a couple of years ago. Then I would have been like, honey, let me tell you. Single, what is that?
What is that?
Like, God, really?
Yeah. And hearing this is good. This is real talk.
It's real.
We're being transparent.
We're not the only one dealing with it.
And I know some of y'all on Facebook saying amen to this right now. Our amen corner is there. And how we get delivered from this. And I hear what you said. You had mentors, and God had to speak to you to remind you that it's purpose in this. We call it singles ministry for a reason.
Exactly.
And that's why Sherry Brunson is having these live events. Facebook are for the singles, because we have to, sometimes you got to say, girl, are you going through this when you talk to a single person?
Right.
Yeah.
Or have you ever been through it?
Yes.
Right. And because many a time, I know for single women, they think that they're the only ones going through it.
Yes.
Girl, I have been there. And it's okay to tell your sister, girl, I have been right where you are. Title and all. I have been there.
Yes.
And it's
even
okay.
married.
But let me sit and talk to you about this. Let's sit and have a conversation. I think that one of the issues is we try to hide the fact that we struggle. We try to hide the fact that, I'm tired of being single.
Yes.
Especially when we get these quote unquote titles.
Yes.
You don't want people to know, I struggle with being single as well. But it's good to open up to people, to let people know, I've been where you are.
Yes.
I've been in that place where, you know what, I'm looking at God like, God, one more year.
Didn't you say?
We about to go to 2018. God, remember I prayed that prayer last year and the year before last.
Yes.
So we have to be upfront and honest about that, and be real about that, and say,
I agree.
I have been there as well. I'm with you. I get it. I understand. I have walked that season as well.
Amen.
And we're getting ready to go into 2018. I just want to put that out there again.
Throw it out there.
We're getting ready to go into 2018, y'all.
And just to add to, I think the other thing that I got tired of when it came to single ministries, because I felt like you keep trying to make me live in the present. My mind is in the future. Like, God promised me this. So I don't want to keep being prepared of being single. It's time to change.
How much preparation you need?
How much preparation do I need?
I keep hearing that. That's what I'm saying. That's the wait on the Lord.
Prepare.
Prepare yourself.
Get your finances.
Get your finances
I
in order. You don't need a broke woman. And I'm like,
a praying woman. Oh, my Lord.
And a praying woman. And I need a whole woman. And I need a whole man then.
Exactly.
How much wholeness I can get. I'm going to turn better, Jesus, at 30 years of this. Father, send him. So
That is funny.
So that's real talk for y'all at home. So it will take for any of y'all struggling in this area, as you have a call and a purpose on your life.
Yes.
You truly do have to wait on the Lord, because he is protecting us and he's shielding us from Mr. Georgie Porgy.
That's
from
right.
the one that will derail one bad decision.
One bad decision.
That's it.
Will
Can change
derail
the entire
your
life.
life 20 years, 10 years, and you're like, what did I do?
Married that
Because
joker.
and let's get into this next topic, y'all.
See?
And this is, okay, what is the antidote or the cure for loneliness for singles? What is it? What is ultimately what
I'm going to
is
say
it?
there's no cure for loneliness.
it's not.
Let's just put that out there. There is no cure. We all go through periods and
Phases.
seasons
Yes.
and phases of
Yes.
loneliness.
It's phases.
Yes.
It's all about what you do during that time.
Yes.
And you have to become self-aware, being able to be aware when you feel that way.
Correct.
What are the things that you're going to do when you begin to feel that way? Everybody has the ability to identify when there's a shift within themselves.
Yeah, we do.
Correct.
And when you're able to identify that, then now it's time to put a plan in action.
Yes.
What do you need to do? What are some things that you need to do to help yourself as you go through that season?
So
Correct.
let's stop there, because you're going to go into my next
No.
thing.
You
So
know I will.
with the thanks out there, admitting it. So I think, okay, so for the person at home, if you're going through the loneliness, which I'm not in it, we go through this.
Right.
It's a up and a down. It's
Right.
like happiness and joy. It's happiness.
Right.
I'm happy today. I'm sad
a
tomorrow.
wave.
I totally
It's a
agree.
wave. That's good. We'll use a wave tonight for y'all at home. So it's a wave. Is it always that you gotta go get a friend? You gotta go have sex? You gotta go get married right away?
I was
Talk
ready.
about that.
I was ready to talk about it.
Yeah. Talk to me.
The truth of the matter is, this is a critical time, because that's the time most where the enemy wants you to make dumb decisions.
Talk,
if that makes
sister.
sense. Okay. That's the time where you're vulnerable, where you're in your emotions.
Yes.
So I would say there's no cure, but one thing you can do is learn to have a level of prayer. And I know maybe some people that's not watching, they're not saved, but learn to have a level of prayer and a level of communication with God, to just asking him to keep you, being honest with them.
Keep me, Lord.
Being honest with them, like, Lord, I'm ready to fall right now. Lord,
Because-
I'm about to do something
yeah,
stupid.
stupid.
Lord, if you don't step in, and also having somebody that you can be confident with.
Real
Not
about.
everybody, because your news will be everywhere, all over the world. But but like a mentor, a leader, or just somebody that value what you say to them.
Yeah.
And that you can talk about. Or, I mean, there are many things you can do to escape, should I say, just making the wrong decision
temptation of
at the
making
time of loneliness.
Yes.
Because you're going to experience it. And honestly, I've heard where married people said they experience it, but I don't know
they
about
do.
that. So
They do.
that's what I'm saying. So with that, I just think it's just making those decisions.
It is.
It's just having that relationship with God, being able to have key people in your life
Yes.
that you can say, hey, if you don't pick me up right now, I'm
I'm
going to meet
gonna
somebody.
call George. I'm
I'm
gonna call
going to
him.
meet them and say, hey,
Yeah.
whatever you want to, that's just the reality. That's just the reality. So, or just things like that, or getting out of the house, doing something different, something to occupy your mind.
Yes.
Should I say?
And
staying
I know,
busy.
Yes, and I know the
just-
counselor's over there about itching out her feet over there. Yes, call your counselor.
I'm just listening.
Yes, I know.
I'm listening.
fine.
I'm like, okay.
But back to that of what you're saying is the part of the loneliness of having a confidant.
Yes.
Somebody that's mature that can say, Sherry, if you call George Smith right now, you're going to do something so dumb.
Yes.
And no 3 o'clock in the morning phone calls and all that stuff. Because
Correct.
temptation, we're talking about temptation. It could be anything. And to make
Right.
do these dumb choices.
Right.
And yes, you need to stay prayed up, because as long as I've been this way, you have to stay prayed up. Because those thoughts come to your mind
Yes.
to do bad. We sin,
Yes.
saved by grace. Saved by grace.
Yes.
I'm back. Go ahead, doctor.
I want to talk to that
Go
person
ahead, doctor.
where they may not have a prayer life. Oh, you want me to talk to the camera?
talk
They
to
may,
them,
they
say.
may not, you may not have a prayer life.
Amen.
Or you may not, have any saved friends, or a
Talk,
good one, that
preacher.
one good friend that can pray with you.
Yes.
I want to speak to that person, because truth be told, we can be in the church and still struggle when it comes to loneliness, and still want to call, what's his name?
George.
So I want to talk to that person where, your relationship with God may not be at a particular level of some people.
Yeah.
What is it that you can do, because there's still a struggle there, and you may not want to make the decision, but because you are lonely, you want to pick up the phone and call him or call her, whatever the case may be. One of the things that I recommend is always be aware. Self-awareness is so important.
Yes.
And when you're able to be aware of, okay, this is what's going on with me right now.
Yes.
This is how I'm feeling. So let me think about this. Ask yourself the questions. If I make the decision to pick up the phone and call X, Y, and Z to come over, for me to go over there, will the consequences be worth it?
Woo!
That's something you want to ask yourself. That's something practical. That's something that you can actually walk through and say, okay, I can make a conscious decision and say, either I'm okay with this or I'm not okay with this. And that's one of the things that you can also do for yourself. And then another thing that you can do, you want to, I don't know, many of you read, finding self-help books, or finding activities that you enjoy. It's 3:00 in the morning, you up, get on, find a movie or something to watch, but you really want to ask yourself that question. Asking yourself that question will really help you to make a conscious decision. This is my thing. I don't believe we make dumb decisions. I believe we have the ability to make whatever the decision we want. We just have to ask ourselves whether or not the consequences that comes with the decision that we make, whether or not it's worth it, and whether or not we can accept it, and whether or not we can deal with it.
Well, amen.
I agree.
And I agree with everything you said. Well spoken, well said. The consequences, the word tells us that the sin is death.
Yes.
And that could be the death of a relationship, a death of you, going backwards. I heard everything you're saying. It is the sin of what you're about to put your hands into.
Yes.
And it is that. It is, you got to deal with the consequence. Whatever that costs you, a sexual transmitted disease, losing a friend, whatever that is. Powerful stuff, Dr. Evans. That's good revelation for those of you who are unsaved, who need somebody.
I just wanted to add to that. That is so true what you're saying. Yeah. And even just to add to that, I tell women all the time, we have so much power. We have so much power of knowing when to be like, I can't settle. I'm not going to do that. Because it is my belief, if women would stand, if we would stand and not just accept anything, other people would get into place. That's just me.
To the man, and that
men will get into place.
Let's take a moment, because without loneliness, you got to talk about. Yes, they'll get in place. We do so much for them. We protect the men. We do so much for men. We do. We protect them in their sin. Oh, baby, my man ain't like that. He'll never do nothing like that.
Yes.
Whatever that is to you. But without talking about loneliness, you have to talk about self-esteem. You got to talk about that, because there is a codependency that women and men have, that they cannot be alone. They cannot sit in a house and be silent and deal with them. Now, we all know this. We got friends like that. They cannot do anything alone. They can't go to McDonald's alone. They're going to have to bring somebody along. They can't go to an event. And I understand that, but you got to be in a place where you can have some sense of independency without just being codependent. Because I had a manager tell me one time, he always took care of his wife. She didn't work a job. She was a stay-at-home mom. He was getting up in age. He told his wife she had to get a job. She had to go get educated, because he was going to leave one day, and he did not want her handicapped, did not know how to pay the bills, where to find the bills. There is a deep codependency that sometimes men and women have, where you all have to find a way to stand. And when you're called to be in ministry.
Yes.
There are times you're going to have to fly places by yourself.
I agree with you.
You got to be able to deal
Yes.
with being on the road a week
Yes.
without your mate, without having somebody to talk to,
Yes.
where you have to go into pure consecration,
Yes.
where you're reading and studying the Word of God.
Yes.
You got to be able to say, oh, I got to turn on the TV. I need
Yes.
some noise. You got to be able to deal with that. I'm talking
I agree.
purpose now,
I
people.
totally
Go ahead,
agree.
Lawanda.
That's true, but you know, when you talk about codependency, it's deeper. Because
Oh, yes,
codependency
yeah,
starts when you're younger.
Yes.
And it has a lot to do
Upbringing.
with anxious and insecure
Self-esteem,
attachments.
that stuff.
It has a lot to do with that, and you have to call me if you want more information about attachment issues. But codependency goes far deep,
Right.
And you can go as far as, you know, when you were a little child and how you were raised.
Yes,
Codependency doesn't just
I
show
totally
up as
agree.
an adult. It starts
Yeah.
as a child, and as an adult, it becomes codependency. And a lot of it has to do with attachment issues. And when there's an anxious attachment and an insecure attachment with a child, you grow up and then you connect with someone, and then that leads you to what we call codependency, which leads us to unhealthy relationships.
Yes.
But I definitely agree what you're talking about. But codependency
sister.
goes a little bit deeper
Yeah,
than
I ain't
just,
a doctor. That's
you know.
your job. That's why you're here.
And so just to add to that, I was just about to mention that. I was just about to say that when people act like that, something happened.
Young.
When you don't
yes.
want to be alone, something happened.
to you.
Something has you fears in fear. Something has you where you know you don't want to be by yourself. Maybe you don't want to face yourself, and that
that's
alone
true.
could be
Another issue.
yes, pride or you know, you name it. So something happened.
Yes.
Something happened where you know you just gotta have.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I can even say that for me. There was a time in my life where I felt like, because my birth mother died young,
Wow.
at 14. It put me at a place, you know, who I have as a mother now. I thank God for her,
Thank you,
Apostle
Jesus.
Kimberly C. Johnson. But it put me at a place where I thought I needed to have a man. I needed to have somebody to fulfill what I lost, what I longed for.
What you long
Something
for,
happened.
princess.
You know, so when you just said that it didn't just start as an adult, it started as a child. Something happened to bring that person to a place where, like, I gotta even putting up with the wrong people.
Say
They're
that.
like,
Yes.
I just
Oh,
got
yes,
to have
you
you
can
in my
have
life.
your
I just-
enemies,
you
you can
have
have-
got to be around me.
Yes.
That means something happened.
Yes.
Something happened to put somebody in that state. And so that's why I
Yeah.
said earlier,
Yes.
you know, it has to be a level of healing and wholeness as a single before we keep talking about marriage, because if you're not whole before you go into a marriage,
Wholeness.
I mean, Lord Jesus, it's going to be a process when you get attached to somebody else.
Oh, he
and
gonna,
you
oh,
have
she
to grow
gonna
with
put up with
them,
something.
you know, so
Say that, sister. And
It's a lot.
when we're talking about this, the codependency, I'm so glad I brought it up.
yes.
Because it is somebody that now needs to go to a counselor, go to a biblical counselor. You can go to just somebody that can help you to go through this. And
Yes.
really, you have to pour out your heart to somebody.
Yes.
Because a lot of it, we don't even recognize what the issue is until you talking to
So
a
talk to
professional,
somebody,
and
right.
they pinpoint it and say, okay, these are your symptoms, but this is your disease.
Ah.
You understand? We got to tell them the symptoms, but they're going to tell you the disease. They go to the core of the heart of the matter, the heart issue. I am here in an inspirational way and giving you the word, of course, but sometimes, and even with grief or whatever you're going through, you
Yes.
have to take it to the professionals that are trained to do this.
That's
you
right.
do not agree, y'all?
That's right.
I definitely agree.
Thank you, Dr. Evans.
I second that. We are available to help you
Yes,
with
praise
any
the
issues
Lord.
or challenges.
Yes.
So with that said, girls, we must. So as we are entering the holiday season. We gotta
Ooh.
deal with this. Yes, you hear the angels speaking. So we gotta focus, everybody, on how to get through this. So I can start with me. So every year, at this time of year, I'm always talking about, and I'm going to be honest with everybody. I'm talking about, I should have been fine for the holiday. I need to be in this cute dress to go to a Christmas party. I may meet my man at the Christmas party, Princess and Lawanda. I just be freaking out this time of the year. And it's like, calm down. This happens every year.
Same time.
Same time. And the same thing.
Same time.
So as I've matured, it's just a wonderful holiday to spend time with your family and your friends.
Correct.
And if you choose to sit at home and eat all the sweet potato pie at the house by yourself, don't do it. But that's your choice.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let the family make you feel guilty for not visiting. You can call if you can't get to Chicago or wherever. It's okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about this. Give us 2 ways that they can get through the holidays, Dr. Wanda. Then I'm coming to you. Help us out, doctor. That's why you are here tonight.
Well, one way that you can really help yourself to get through the holidays is spending time with family. It's a tradition in my family.
Okay.
Every Thanksgiving we spend together.
Okay.
So everybody comes together at one person's house. We rotate homes. Everybody cook. I even cook. Everybody cook. They bring their dishes, and we sit and we have Thanksgiving together as a family. Another way that you can get through the Thanksgiving holiday is by doing something special for yourself or either volunteering.
Nice.
That's another very important thing. When you're able to give back to those that are less fortunate, that brings you some type of joy and happiness to see the happiness and the fulfillment on people's faces when you're actually volunteering. So spending time with family, doing something great for yourself, and also volunteering within the community are 2 great ways, or 3 great ways to get through the holidays.
Yes, overcoming that loneliness feeling.
Yeah.
Because right now, you know, there are people who have lost loved ones during this season, and they have to cope with it because you could have lost your mom, your dad, or siblings too. So you're right, not to isolate yourself.
No.
Correct.
Would you not agree, Prophet?
I totally
Prophetess?
agree. I totally agree. And I just want to say, for those who don't have family, there's some people who don't have family. Maybe you was the only child. I mean, I would say
That's true.
it's all about connections. And that's why I stated earlier, when you asked me, was I all content? I want to be connected to everybody that I'm supposed to be connected to.
That's awesome.
Because it's all about connections.
Yeah.
Because even if you don't have family, you need somebody. Somebody that you can share a memory with, or like you said, or even if you impacting somebody else. So I
Exactly.
totally agree with you. But just somebody that you can just have that time with. I mean, you can be alone if you're comfortable with being alone. And,
Yeah.
I mean, and just sitting under the blankie while it's cold and,
Watching
you know,
your DVDs.
watching a movie. But if you're the type of person where you're affectionate, maybe you're the type of person you're affectionate, you're loving.
Yes.
So if you don't have family, to have connections, have people that can invite you to come over.
That's
You
good.
know, you know, or friends or coworkers or just something. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, like, I'm just going to say this because a lot of people in the church have said, as long as I got King Jesus, I don't need nobody else.
Yes.
That's
Devil
not
is
the
a
truth.
lie.
That is
that's
not
not true.
the truth. Jesus is
relational. He's a relational.
He is the foundation to everything.
Everything.
But you need
Human-
relationships. You need connections. You need somebody. You just do.
Girl, that was awesome, Princess. Yeah, you can't.
I can't touch him.
And he's asking himself, how
I
dare
can't
you
reach up and say hi.
love me
Hi.
when you don't even talk to
To your neighbor.
So you hit it on the head. That's relationship.
I'm gonna touch Jesus. Hold on.
Just hold on. And the
Let me
Lord,
see if I can get to him.
yes, and he's like, daughter, son, please go and
Stop
talk
it.
to Sherry and somebody.
Stop.
And let's talk about that so people will know, so they don't get caught up in these bad relationships. How do they, Dr. Evans, embrace healthy relationships? How you recognize these healthy relationships with your friends and your family without dysfunction?
Well, you know, every family is dysfunction.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
know
And you know,
that.
and in
Every-
friendships we have our issues and challenges as well.
Everybody going their box.
However, when your friendship,
Yes,
I would
friendship.
say is
Yeah, it's your friendship.
when there's something negative always being said, when your friends are always being negative Nancy, you know, always have something, down to say, always have that woe is me, always having a pity party. That's a bit unhealthy, because you're not trying to be around people that are going to bring you down.
Yes.
You need to be around people who's going to bring you up. Those are going to uplift you. And it's the same thing with family.
Yes,
you
Lord.
want to be around family who's going to bring you up and lift you up. And sometimes that is a challenge in some families. And some people have those families where you can't talk to anyone, and you can't, you don't have anybody to lift you up. So then you may have to adopt a distant family. You may have to find family members that are some of your friends' family and adopt them and have them as your family. But you want to make sure that you stay around people who build you up and lift you up. If you're around anybody who's talking to you negatively, who's putting you down, who's beating you down, who always has something mean and negative and ugly and nasty to say, you don't want to be around that person. That's unhealthy. That's even in a relationship. I don't care who you're in a relationship with. If that person is treating you bad, if that person is treating you so bad, and they're treating you the way you don't even treat yourself, you don't need to be around that person.
They should be building you up.
Exactly. They should be
Yes.
Relationships build you up. Relationships lift you up. Not to say you won't have issues and challenges, but there are some people who come to destroy you. And they come to destroy you during the time when you feel your lowest.
That's it.
The time when they know that you've lost a loved one.
Yeah.
A time when they know that you've lost a spouse or lost someone or lost a friend, or you're not connected to your family. They come to destroy you.
Yes, they do.
And they would say little subtle things to make you feel bad, to make you kind of be drawn back into them as if they're your savior and they're the ones that you need to be talking to. So you have to be very careful of those people who are talking in your ear.
Amen.
Because many of them are not for you, but you have to be able to recognize that.
And that's what I want y'all to say. Go ahead.
I was
you
about
read
to say,
Come on, girl. I brought it out of you,
you
huh?
brought it out of me. I don't know why you insist on doing this. But doctor, just like what you just said, and I wanted to bring the major point.
Okay.
You have to love you.
Yes.
Because if you don't love you, you won't identify when somebody else won't love you and is not loving you. If you don't value you and love you, you're not going to identify when somebody else is coming and they're
That's
not giving you
awesome.
that same thing that you give to yourself.
That's awesome.
You have to love you.
And a lot of times these people have, guys, they have witnessed abuse. They've done these.
Yes.
This is just the way it is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This is just how men or women treat you. They start to accept this because of that lack of self-worth, lack of self-esteem.
That's it.
And they don't value them or their life. Every one of us have witnessed a friend who a male or female that should not be in a relationship, and we're sitting there like, God, please let them recognize what is happening.
Yes.
And at all its core, it is how we feel about ourselves. And a lot of women settle, a lot of men settle because they feel that this is all they deserve.
And
Isn't that powerful?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that has come from a spirit of loneliness and that codependency spirit again. Because this is for me.
I just this is all that's out there. No, it's not.
And that's true, because right now they're telling us to lower our standards. Girl, you've been single 15 years now.
Something
you need
wrong
to
with
do
you.
something wrong with you. Even my mom was joking about it, and I won't say what she said. It's a Christian show.
Don't say what Mama said.
Mom said some stuff
Mama Mississippi.
about me.
Don't say what Mama said.
She said some stuff to me, Lawanda. And so I just want that thing just bothers me, that when we have been through so much, because even in the dating game when I was out there, and I went through that, going through all these different crazy relationships, where I decided, and this is what we got to talk about, the loner spirit. Oh, I'm a loner. Nobody's an island. You can't be on no island.
No.
You're going to have to get back in the game, get back into having relationships, trusting women and men again. You have to have the relationships, and that is what I want to talk about next. How to overcome that loner spirit after you have been abused in relationships, man.
Yes.
How do you come back from that?
That's a good question.
It's hard.
I know you're ready, doctor.
It has to start. It has to start with healing. You have to heal. You have to heal the hurt and the pain from the last relationship in order to walk into a new season, into a new relationship. You cannot go into a new relationship with the same issues and challenges from the past relationship. You have to heal. You have to heal the hurt. You have to talk about it.
And
that's the issue. People don't talk about it.
Okay, let's start with that.
We need to talk about it. Talk about what happened. Find you a counselor, and you have to talk about it. You really do have to talk about it. You have to talk about what happened, how you were impacted, what did you learn from it, and what are you willing not to do the next time to ensure you don't find yourself in a situation like that. And then you have to forgive. You have to forgive the person for what happened. You have to forgive yourself. And sometimes we're our own worst critic. And we don't forgive ourselves for what we've gone through, and for what we've done, and for the things that have actually happened. So you have to forgive yourself, forgive the other person, and you have to heal from the issues and challenges that you've actually gone through. Now, should you decide, because some people go through that, and they decide they're going to stay friends with the person. And that's fine if you decide to do that. But just know the same issues that was tied to that person when you were with that person is still with that person. So you have to be careful, because guess what? Spirits travel.
Yeah, they do.
And you can find yourself right back in that situation because we just friends, and I just want to be friends. I'm not trying to be friends with the ex.
Oh, preacher.
Because
a lot of people say that.
That's serious.
I mean,
the only way we can possibly be friends is it's been years. You're with somebody, I'm with somebody, we can go play cards and everything is good. But most of the time, your exes, they have an alternative. They have another motive sometimes. And you have to be able to discern it. You have to be able to know whether or not it's healthy for you to continue to have a friendship with a person that you just got out of a relationship with. And if the relationship was horrible, please don't think that things are going to be different because you're friends. They've already shown you who they are, and now you are no longer with that person, and now you want to be friends with that person. You're still connected. So how can you heal when you're still connected to what you just left from?
I have to distance myself from them.
And see,
I them wounds come up, and I want to stab somebody.
I was just wanting to add to that.
Go ahead, girl.
It's very important to heal, because when you don't heal, the truth of the matter is, when you don't heal, the Bible says in James that when a man sin, that he is drawn from his own lust and enticed. When you don't heal, that's because honestly, when you keep attracting the same thing, it's something going on inside of you that you're drawing the same thing, that same abuse, the same hurt, the same type of people. Something is going on with you. I mean, that could be good or bad. It could be whether you have a good heart, or whether you're ready to love, or whether people know that you are very sweet and nice, or if it's the bad side where like you said, where you've been abandoned and you just you don't mind having that in your life, just to have a person, just to have somebody to touch. It is important to be whole, because at some point you're going to keep drawing the same thing to yourself,
girl.
If you don't.
But we ain't hanging out with these exes. I don't know why. And you pretending because you really just want to know, woman or man, what is happening in their life.
That is
and
so
a lot
true.
of times you just need to move on, let them be. Because I can tell you right now, when he talking about, oh, that's my ex-girlfriend, no, delete her. You have no reason to be talking to her.
Select, delete.
Scroll her and to give me the phone.
That's it.
I'm going to help you out.
Disconnect.
Disconnect.
You want to move forward. Because if you're still connected to your ex, how can you move forward with somebody else?
You can't.
It's not. I'm gonna be honest, it's not going to work. I've seen it too many times. It's not going to work. Because you're trying to still hold on to the past while you walk into your future. That doesn't work like that.
Doesn't.
Respect the person that you're with now. Respect that person enough to say, you know what, I'm going to let go of my past because you're my future. So I'm focusing on you. But I tell people all the time, you cannot heal from that past relationship when you're still connected to it.
It's real.
I'm sorry. It just don't happen. Because those same things keep coming up and keep coming. And you're wondering why you keep going through the same thing. Now, there are some mature exes who are good friends. Because I know of people who are mature exes and they are friends,
and they have to because of kids,
and they have kids, and that's good. We can do the Jada, Will, and Cherie. We can do that. That is definitely a possibility. But there is another side of the ex part that you cannot. So you have to know when you are friends with an ex, make sure that you're mature. And if you have kids, that's understandable. But make sure it's a maturity type of relationship that you have, and everybody is able to talk, everybody gets along. We can go out to dinner together, we can be transparent, we can hang out together, and that can actually happen. But it takes people who are mature in order to do that.
Well, amen, girls. I appreciate these awesome ladies. So, as we're getting into our final minutes, everybody, we talked about this loneliness, but now is how we enjoy this single life. Let's talk to these ladies and find out what are they doing to enjoy their season of singleness. Give us some tips, Dr. Evans, how to enjoy this single season.
Well, let's see. You want to know what I'm doing, or you want to know? Okay, tips on how to enjoy your single season. Get out and do things. Don't just sit at home and not do anything. Go to plays, hang out with friends, travel. Buy yourself flowers. That's something I do for myself all the time because I love flowers. I love roses and calla lilies. So I buy them for myself and just sit them in my house because that's what I love. Being able to be around family, being able to, just go to experience something new. If you're in the DFW area, there's so many different things that you can do in the DFW area. So many different types of events. Find out what it is that you like and participate in those things. And there's nothing wrong with going by yourself. I go almost everywhere by myself. Like everywhere. Basketball games, to the opera, to plays, to the movies. If you catch me, you're going to catch me by myself.
Dr. Evans and Princess, as we talk about that, let's wrap up right there. When you say that you go these places alone, guys, it doesn't mean you're alone. You're a room of a whole bunch of people. You meet no strangers.
And I'm dressed up.
Yes, and you look cute, and you meet new people, and that's about meeting new people. It's not about you're not trying to hang with your friends. You're meeting new people. I just had to say that because I do that wherever game I'm at. You sit with somebody, you end up knowing these people. Don't be afraid of that. Please don't be afraid.
And volunteer. I volunteer as well. And just going out and volunteer. I met somebody new, a new volunteer today at where I was volunteering this morning. Like, oh my God, just being able to talk to people and being connected. And participate in things that you enjoy. Enjoy life. Life is to be enjoyed. And you should be happy like every day. Anybody that don't bring you happiness, you got to go.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
We doing Spanish.
I would also say to learn to tap into you.
Okay, girl.
While you're single, maybe you might be, heading into career. You might be heading into business. Find out what else is inside of you. That's another way that I've been able to enjoy this season. Because I've been shocked at myself. I've been shocked to see where my passion has went. There was a time that I was just into business. And now I don't mind opening up to sales. I don't mind opening up to real estate. So I don't mind opening up to writing again. So I'm writing again. I've already wrote my first book, but I'm writing more. And I'm writing poems and just all of that. So I would say that's one of the best ways to enjoy this season. Shock yourself. Allow what's inside of you to be pulled out at this time. Something that you would enjoy doing, like she said, and just learning how to get out, learning how to do something different. If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep seeing the same results.
All right.
So like for my birthday, I went to an opera house because I said, I just want to do something crazy out different for me. So I would say, do things like that. It would be very, very helpful.
You hear all this. This is good stuff, everybody. Do new things. And I love what you're saying. Get to know you.
Shock
yourself. Work those gifts.
That's right.
Yeah, work those gifts. And I got to say this more than anything. Have life balance. Don't be so work, single folks.
Right.
And so church, single people. Let's get it in the middle. And I'm speaking from experience where I was all one and I was just so extreme. We got to have some balance. You got to have those friends. You got to put that computer down and say, Princess, girl, let's go somewhere tonight.
Yes.
Do some spontaneous stuff.
Things. Come on.
Get out just on a whim on a Saturday. Just say, let's go.
That's right.
Because we got the liberty, the freedom now to do this, where you're not going to have to check in with somebody. Enjoy this season.
That's it.
And stop begrudging it. Everybody, stop hating it. Love this freedom. Enjoy this freedom, because we are going to be responsible for another human being. And they're going to be looking at us, even though they're not supposed to be looking at us for their happiness. But they're going to be looking at you. Yeah, they are.
And you can come and go as you
please.
Right.
You're not in prison, but I know what you're saying.
You have this freedom now.
Yeah, we do.
To basically do what you want to do, to get up when you want to get up to.
Yes.
You don't have to cook if you don't want to cook. You know, you can
Yeah,
do what
that is true.
You can really enjoy it.
You can really
because when your single season is up, it's up. And then you're going to transition to the marriage season. And one thing I don't want any single person to do is, when you get married, you talk about what you would have, should have, and could have done when you were single.
Ooh, geez.
So now that you have this time, do it. And then when you get with your boo, y'all can do things together.
And that's even better.
Yeah.
Because you have been and wrote them 5 books.
Yeah.
Took a tour around the world. I look at it like that. Because right now, you get in the grind, write those books, do all those things. Take that arts and craft, we'll do whatever.
I'm trying to knit.
Because your life is being taken away. When somebody else come, some of you is being taken away, because you're becoming one.
Definitely.
You're learning how to live with somebody else.
Yes.
And then the little ones, when the time comes. I think I hear the spot.
You know what, guys? David, put the camera back on me. When I saw Lawanda's face, when you said becoming this one, and I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I am borderline. I love its singleness to an extreme. And every time I think about, oh my God, I gotta have another person.
Somebody gonna move my cups.
Yeah. And so I have to address that. But it is exciting to want to get married, and I'm listening to the married people saying, Sherry, calm down.
They're glad.
What you think is not a fairy tale. So go ahead, girls, as we wrap up.
It's funny because when I think about it, I have a lot of married friends.
Me too.
But I'm sitting here like, because everybody who knows me know I'm so structured. So I'm like, that glass don't go there. That cup don't go there. If somebody wash dishes at my house, I'm gonna go behind you and wash the dishes again.
Oh my goodness!
It's just
it's the blended. And so I'm just trying to say,
I'm gonna enjoy this organization for now. My shoes organized in my closet.
Yes,
everything is organized.
Yes.
Everything. I live off a planner. Do you not know that?
Yes, I believe.
So to not plan is like, what is that?
Yes, because he could call you and say, we need to do this tonight, Lawanda.
Oh,
you gonna be Nicole then? You ain't gonna be no Dr. Evans.
Yeah, we're gonna be Nicole. I'm gonna be
Nicole.
I'm gonna transition.
Nicole, we need to go do this tonight. But no, I thought about we could do this. No, you're gonna have to.
I know. I'm gonna have to be silent too, huh?
Yes,
because I have a mouth. Jesus, I'm gonna have to be silent. Just be like,
Yes, okay, baby. We're going to do it your way tonight. So, guys, enjoy it. So, as we wrap, Dr. Evans, how can they reach you briefly?
You can reach me at 972-855-8947 or on my website, which is www.drlne.com.
Excellent. Now, Princess, tell us about you again and how they can contact you on Facebook, whatever.
They can find me on Facebook, Twitter,
all the social networks.
Yes, Instagram.
Instagram.
So just type up my name.
Yeah,
you should be able to identify my face. You can also find me on YouTube. I have my own YouTube page, so you can find me there. So
good deal. And what's coming up with you next? What you working on? You said a book.
I am working on a conference for next year, and then also my second book. I'm still working on wrapping it up and to get into real estate. So.
Okay, she's a busy single person. Well, girl, I enjoyed you ladies. We got to do this again, family.
Yes, we do.
We got to. We had some interaction on Facebook.
Oh, did we?
Thank you guys so much for staying tuned this entire hour, sharing your comments, sharing the post. OMG. We had some interaction. I'm so excited. So I'm Sherry Brunson, your host for the evening. God bless you. Visit sherrybrunson.com. Stay connected. And God bless you, singles. It is not a curse. It is just God putting us in a position to be available, not just for our husbands, but being a witness to other singles and people who are looking to build their strength and not to be so codependent on other people. So singles, enjoy the season. Enjoy the season. You are alone, but you're not lonely. God bless you, and until I see you next time, dream by faith. Bye, everybody.